So now we are moving on to the finish. I've taken the little 8 cleats out. Remember, 8 cleats that will hold the top to the base, because I don't need to varnish them or stain them, etc. So the plan, step 1, we're going to use a tack cloth here to make sure we get rid of any sawdust, etc. all over these surfaces. Step 2, we're going to do a preconditioner. I think this is supposed to make it so that the stain will go on smoothly and evenly. It won't be blotchy. We let that dry for a short time, and then we stain. We let that dry completely, and then we poly everything. So that's the plan. I got to figure out the timing on everything. I think the preconditioner and the staining has to go on, boom, boom, fairly quickly. And then we let that dry. And then we'll put the poly on, and we've probably got 2-3 coats of poly, something like that. And we gotta wait until I think it's mostly dry each time. So that's the plan. But again, the first step is going to be here is to just get the surfaces completely clean, and then with these slightly damp and tacky cloths. And then we'll go from here. Okay. So before I do everything, I wanted to do a little test on this little scrap of wood. What is this going to look like with this stain? I wanted to see what's it going to look like. I want sort of a reddish color. Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so we're going to go with that. We need to do the preconditioner first, and then we'll get to this. So we finished putting on the preconditioner, and I'm looking at this, and it turned in darker than I thought it would. So I don't know if you'll be able to tell in the camera, but this is the stain that I just tested out. And so I could stain on top of this and make it much more reddish, or I could leave this and just clear coat this, because it definitely darkened up and reddened up more than I thought it would. So I think actually I might just skip the stain and just clear coat it, because I like the color that it turned once it got the conditioner on it. I'm assuming the poly on top of that will kind of maybe make it even just a little bit richer. But yeah, I like it. So that may have made my finishing just a little bit easier, that I don't have to do the stain part. But in fact, I can just clear coat it, which would be really nice. Because I think that'll look nice. I mean, this is just a really nice color. Got a little reddish tint to it, but not too much. Yeah. I think we might do that. But I gotta wait for this to fully dry here, so I gotta wait. It says 15 minutes in order to stain. Probably want to wait a little longer to clear coat it. So we'll get cleaned up the brush, and then we'll go back and figure it out.